Good morning, everyone. I am presenting the impact of terrorism on Nigeria business environment. The case study of Emab Business Plaza, Wuse to Abuja. Abuja is in Nigeria. Yes, I have the abstract. Terrorism has impacted negatively levels of society across the world community, and this level has affected the business and its environment. Terrorism aim is nothing but to create permanent state of terror, hatred, and mistrust generalized in the population. The uncertainty of the attacks brings human fear, and it has bring psychological effects on human beings and in the society generally. This study concludes that there is a significant impact on terrorism on business environment in Nigeria. With the study, I used questionnaires and oral interview as research instruments. Data were obtained and presented and analyzed. This questionnaire was administered to business owners, customers, employees, and government regulators. In concluding this study, I found out that there's a significant impact of terrorism on business environment, and it's also recommended. I have some recommendations that business environment should be able to cope by putting secured and structured security network and have an quick intervention after an attack. I have here introduction. I have to define terrorism in the UK Terrorism Act 2000 as the use or threat of violence for the purpose of advancing a political, religious, or ideological cause. Yeah. Terrorism had weakened industry and society through their manipulation of economic system. And their most common type of event is through bombing, arm attack, kidnapping, arson, and vandalism. Yes. And they have a general knowledge of this prevalent model of terrorism organization lead to a better understanding of their capabilities. It has evolved into the principal irregulator welfare strategy of the 21st century. It is adapting, terrorism now is adapting to the world social, political environment. In continuation, in the introduction, I try to put up the technologies they are using now in order to get their weapons to the society. They have sophisticated abilities through information management and other technologies that they use. It is known that terrorism took on a different, more global meaning after the terror attack in New York on September 11, 2001. Okay, Nigeria, as we know, is highly populated in the West Africa, and it thrives in its involvement in commercial activity across the globe. I try to explain what business environment is. Business environments are the internal and external factors that affect how companies relate with its employees, customers, vendors, management, and other business regulators. And then I can explain the plaza is a public square, marketplace, or similar open square in a built-up area. It is also known as shopping center. Since the 20th century, businessmen have moved from local business setting to more modernized structure business setting, which is this business plaza. And in Emab Business Plaza, it is located in the capital city of Nigeria, Abuja. And here in this plaza, it ranges businesses and commercial activities like sales of electronics, household sales of household equipment, and office equipment. And outside this plaza, you can see street vendors. Okay, the purpose of this research work is to study the impact of terrorism as it affects the business and its relationship with its environment. And this study, as we know, it's on Emab Plaza, Wuse 2 in Abuja, Nigeria. The incident of terrorism in Emab Plaza in Wuse 2, Abuja, 25th of June 2014. Okay, in the theoretical framework, I tried to define terrorism again by Alexander, 1979, as a systematic threat or use of violence often across natural borders to attain a political goal and communicate a political message through fear, coercion, or intimidation of non-combatant persons or the general public. There are stages. I try to check the stages of terrorism. In the 20th century, nationalism is a revolutionary political ideology, and another stage is during the Arab nationality, when they felt they are betrayed, when the French and British were given authority over their land, and the Zionist immigration into Palestine. And as I can rush through these stages, uh, now let me get to the cost of terrorism. It is known that in the past 2 years, since 2001, the cost of terrorism has really increased. And in Nigeria precisely, it is estimated that terrorism caused direct investment flow to drop in the past 6 years in the country Nigeria. Who is affected in this act? The survivor of the past traumatic event, people who personally witnessed or were victims of the terrorist attack, people who experienced traumatization from learning of relatives, friends, and acquaintances that were subject to the violence. Okay. I try to explain business. Business is basically an economic activity, which objectives are profit earning, creating customers, and innovation. And as we can see, I try to explain the internal and external factors of this business environment. External factors are the institutions that are beyond the control of business and affect the functioning of the business enterprise. The internal environment, it includes those factors that affect the business which are present within the business itself. Okay, the external environment, as I have already explained. Then I try to name the list of these internal and external factors. They are the customers, the suppliers or the vendors, the employees that are within the environment, and the management itself. Methodology. What method did I use? I used the presentation of questionnaires to 100 respondents. And these respondents include employees, the management, the suppliers, the customers, and the government agencies. And these questionnaires were distributed, and the response rate was 90%. What is my findings? You can see the tables of my findings. The first is, does the terrorist attack cause reduction in the number of the staff? You can see the percentage that strongly agree and the percentage that strongly disagree. On the second findings, does the terrorist affect the performance of the employee? You can see the percentage that strongly agreed and the percentage that strongly disagree. The third one, does the terrorist attack affect some of the management decision? You can see those that strongly agreed and those that strongly disagree. Does the terrorist attack cause rapid decrease in customer turnover? You can see the rate that strongly agreed and the rate that strongly disagreed. The table 5, does the terrorist attack cause reduction of the number of occupants in the Plaza business location? We can see the number that strongly agreed and the number that strongly disagreed. And the sixth one, does the terrorist attack affect the availability of products and services? We can see the number that strongly agreed and the number that strongly disagreed, the percentage number. Table 7, does the terrorist attack affect the returns the business makes to the government? We can see the percentage that strongly agreed and the percentage that strongly disagreed to that fact. Table 8, does the terrorist attack affect the cost of running the business plaza as the business location itself? We can see the percentage that strongly agreed and the percentage that strongly disagreed. In table 9, does the terrorist attack affect the cost of the rental space of the business plaza? We can see the percentage on the table that strongly agreed and percentage that strongly disagreed to that fact. Yes, in table 10, we have the question, does the terrorist attack affect the cost of services and products in the business plaza? We can see the percentage that strongly agreed and the percentage that strongly disagreed. My discussion on my results. Yes, in the reduction of number of staff, when this attack lead to the death when this attack leads to the death of some staff, you can see that the number of staff will reduce and the trauma may affect other staff and they will not be able to continue their job. And in the performance of the employee, their performance rate will drop because of the trauma and psychological effect they have, and there will be conflict of interest. There will be change in management decision. When they keep a key manager, when this attack may cause death of a key management staff, there is going to be a change in management decision and it will affect the business. When a decrease in customer turnover, yes, due to the trauma and fear, people will not be able to go to that environment again in order to do their business transaction, and there will going to be decrease in customer turnover. Number of occupancy, yes, some people within that environment would like to relocate to a place that they think is safer, and at the end of the day, the number of people occupying in that place environment will decrease. Tax reduction, yes, as the sales is being affected, so also the returns they make to the government will also be affected negatively. Availability of products, some vendors will be afraid to do their transactions in that place. By the time you know it, there will be problem in getting some of the products that is being needed. Increase in cost, yes, by the time the managers of this plaza want to install some technological security system which will increase cost, it will increase the cost of managing the plaza. The increase in rate, this cost that is being used to manage the plaza will be factored into the rent, and this will increase the rent, which will also factored into when the rent is high. There is also the commodities will also be the commodities will also increase, so there will be high cost of commodity. Okay, in summary, this study has investigated into the impact of terrorism on Nigeria business environment, focusing on the case study of Emab Plaza. As we see in the course, I used the questionnaires, and this data was distributed to employees, management, customers, government regulators, and vendors. And we can see in the table how I presented the percentages of my findings. These are the references of this. In conclusion, based on data collected and its analysis, terrorism have significant influence on the business environment through reduction of the number of staff, and it affects their performance in carrying out their duty. It causes the change in management and the management decision. It affects the turnover of customers, vendors, and increase the cost of managing the business premises, which in turn affects the cost of the rent and cost of commodity. It also affects the returns the business makes to government. Recommendation. In view of the findings from the study, terrorism is an unforeseen event that is not planned. However, business should have a risk plan through providing insurance, which can help reduce the impact of the event when it occurs. When business is insured, the impact will not be much on the factors of the business environment. Government should assist also in providing security. When business are secured, the economy is also secured. Thank you so much for listening.